こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、サッカー日本代表に関する動画です。サムライブルーは、今回のインターナショナルウィークに、スコットランドとイングランドとアウェーで戦いますが、久しぶりのヨーロッパとの対戦が、待ち遠しく、楽しみしかないのは皆さん同じでしょう。今回もおなじみDeadBall TVで、特にアジアの国について、それぞれ簡単にプレビューしている動画から、日本のこの2試合についてプレビューしている部分のみを切り取っています。ジャック自身が楽しみにしているこの2試合について、怪我人も少なくない日本が、この2カ国にどのような戦い方をし、どのような展開になると見ているのか、チェックしてみましょう。
We're going to be previewing Asia's March 2026 window in today's video. This is one of the final windows before the World Cup. So all of the Asian national teams participating at the tournament, they have some really good friendlies lined up. There's a lot on the line, a lot of things for us to learn, a lot of storylines to watch. We're going to cover all of that together in today's video. We're going to go team by team and first look at the squad that was called up very quickly. Not going to do a deep dive on any of these for the sake of time. I have far too much content to film right now. Then we're going to talk about the opponents, we're going to preview the opponents, and then I'm going to give my prediction for each game for every single team. Now, before I go any further, I want to announce that this is only going to be for teams that have international friendlies, which means any of my Iraqi subscribers watching, you are not mentioned in this video. However, I have good news. I've already dropped my Intercontinental Playoff video, so go ahead and check that out now. And any Asian national teams competing in the FIFA series, Australia, China, Uzbekistan, Kuwait, you are also not mentioned in this video. You're in the FIFA series video, so I'm feeding the streets. You guys already have that to watch. You were early, honestly. The rest of the teams here, Korea, Japan, Jordan, they should be the ones upset because they had to wait a couple extra days. I'm happy to announce that I'll be going live for some of these games as well. I'm pretty sure Japan versus Scotland is 100% confirmed. I might do Japan versus England as well, but I think it's the same time as Austria versus South Korea. So you guys will probably have to vote down below in the comments which one you want me to do because I can't lose either way. Both of those fixtures are something I used to dream about. If you guys don't want to miss those live streams, videos about Asian football, previews of the World Cup, anything about international football, make sure you hit subscribe, smash the like button, please, and down below in the comments, let me know the #1 storyline that you are watching inside Asian football during the March window. Let's move on to Japan, who are playing Scotland and England, and my quick fire thoughts, excellent friendlies. And I think Japan did really well here, knowing that they're going to play 2 UEFA teams minimum at the World Cup. So they went ahead and got 2 European friendlies on the schedule. Excellent work from the JFA. Let me say again that I will 100% be live on the channel for Japan versus Scotland, so hit subscribe for that. I cannot wait. Looking at the Japanese squad, I mean, really, this deserves its own video because Japan just have so many freaking players. Every single time the squad comes out, it's like England. Like, literally, you could do a 45-minute live stream debating, why isn't Hatate there? Why isn't Hiromasa Morita there? Why did this guy get called up? And I just don't have the time to do that in today's video, so we're going to go very high level. Big news is that Zion Suzuki did recover in time to be called up, and honestly, if I'm Moriyasu, I'm starting him in both games because he's been out for a while, and the 2 games he's played at Parma since returning have been pretty bad. Will Moriyasu get cute and start somebody else against England? Probably, but what can you do? I'm used to it at this point. In the back line, you got Taniguchi, Watanabe, Tomiyasu, who got injured again for Ajax today, so I don't know if he's going to be able to play. Hiroki Ito's in there, Seko, Sugawara, Junasuke Suzuki for FC Copenhagen, who I'm not too familiar with. Speaking plainly, this is a pretty weak back line. We know the Japanese defense has been decimated by injuries. Truth be told, even with everybody available, I still don't think it's very good. Watanabe has to start both of these games for me. It's not even a question. And then the midfield in the attack is actually pretty good. Junya Ito's in here, Kamada, Mitoma, Koki Ogawa off the bench, I assume, Ritsu Doan, Ayasuri Ueda, Tanaka, Keito Nakamura, who's been chefing, albeit in League 2. Keisuke Goto was called up. He's been doing very well in the Jupiler Pro League. I feel like the attack and midfield are okay, but it's still not 100% strength. No Wataru Endo still, no Minamino still, and like I said earlier, Hiromasa Morita was not called up. That's basically the Japanese starting midfield. Now, I like Kamada, I like Sano, but they're up for some pretty nice midfield battles here against the Scots and the English. Previewing the Scotland game, this will be Japan's 4th all-time meeting against them, and they've never lost to the Scots before, though the last game was in 2009. Shout out to the GOAT, Keisuke Honda, who scored in that match. I'm very curious to see how the Japanese handle the physicality of the Scottish national team, because Japan, like we've seen in the past, they don't really like to get hit, so when teams get down and dirty, they tend to crumble a little. Maybe being close to the World Cup means the intensity won't be super high for this game. I really have no idea. This game will be in Hampton Park, and Scotland are tough to take down there. My prediction for this game, if Japan was full strength, I think this would be a 4-2. I think they would concede goals because that back line ain't great, but I think they would be able to run it up. Basically a carbon copy of when they played Turkey a couple years ago. But with the injuries, I don't know, man. I'm thinking like a 2-2. I think both teams will score. I just have zero confidence in Japan being able to defend. I think there are too many key players missing. The keepers are out of form. And then you got the Moriyasu tax. So I think this is going to be a game with a lot of positives and a lot of negatives to take away. I got a draw in this one. Next up, England at Wembley Stadium. This is also the 4th all-time meeting against England, who they have never beaten in their history, and the last game was in 2010. I have a thesis here that Tuchel has transformed England into a top 3 candidate to win the World Cup. And if Japan win this game in Wembley Stadium, that would shatter that narrative for me, especially considering England already lost at home against Senegal as well. So if the best team from Africa and the best team of Asia are going into your own backyard and beating you, how are you supposed to be expected to win a World Cup in the States? They would get demoted from the top 3, in my opinion, if this were to transpire. But look, my prediction here with the Japanese omissions and how strong the English squad is, I think England's going to win 3-1. I do think Japan will score, but I don't really see a key to victory unless Tuchel completely fluffs the starting 11 here. I do think this would be a nice opportunity for Japan to sit back and counter, which they basically haven't been able to do since they played Croatia at the last World Cup. I mean, it's been a long time. Pretty much Japan is just like ball dominant, pinging it around, trying to break down a low block. I don't expect that to happen against the English. So there is potential here. They got speed, Doan Mitoma. They don't really have a clinical goal scorer. It's going to have to be a good game from Ueda to get something here. But I'm going to go with Japan getting on the scoreboard, but ultimately losing by 2 goals.
次は解説です。今回はそれほど難しいボキャブラリーはありませんでしたが、カジュアルに使える表現もいくつかありましたので、本日の解説をチェックしてみます。
We know the Japanese defense has been decimated by injuries.
Decimate は何かに壊滅的なダメージを与えるという意味の強い単語です。スポーツでは特に怪我人が続出してチーム編成が厳しくなった時によく使われ、出れます。デシメルポイントで小数点として覚える人が多いと思いますが、同じ語源の言葉です。もともとは10分の1にするという意味から、単に人数が少し減ったというより、大きな打撃を受けている感じがあります。ニュースや時事英語でも、経済危機や災害の影響を表すときによく使われます。語感としてはかなり強く、seriously damage に近いですが、よりドラマティックです。サッカー動画や海外実況でもかなり見かけれる表現です。戦力ダウンや崩壊状態を英語で言いたいときに、とても便利な単語です。
We know the Japanese defense has been decimated by injuries. We know the Japanese defense has been decimated by injuries. Keito Nakamura, who's been chefing, albeit in League 2.
シェフは本来、ご存知の通り、料理人やシェフという意味の単語です。フランス語が語源で、もともとはリーダーや長という意味があります。最近ではスラングとしても使われていて、特にスポーツやゲームの文脈でよく聞きます。クッキンやシェフィンは、相手を圧倒している、調子がいいという意味になります。例えば、He's been cooking は、彼は無双しているというニュアンスです。サッカーの解説でも、調子のいい選手に対して使われることがあります。カジュアルな英語なので、フォーマルな場面では使わないように注意しましょ
う。Keito Nakamura, who's been chefing, albeit in League 2. Keito Nakamura, who's been chefing, albeit in League 2, but I think they would be able to run it up.
Run up は、英語でとても便利な駆動詞の一つです。基本のイメージは何かが上に向かって増える、または勢いよく近づくという感覚です。スポーツでは run, up, score で得点を重ねるという意味になります。サッカー動画では 攻撃がうまくいって大量得点しそうな場面で使われます。一方、日常英語では run、パビオで請求額を貯めるという意味でもよく使われます。つまり、文脈によって走るという意味より、増やすという意味が強くなることが圧倒的ます。駆動詞は直訳しにくいですが、run up は上に積み上げるという感覚で覚えると分かりやすいです。
But I think they would be able to run it up. They would get demoted from the top 3.
demote は降格させるや格下げするという意味の単語です。会社で役職を下げるときにも使えますし、スポーツや評論では比喩的に使われることもあります。今回の文脈では、人を実際に降格させるのではなく、評価を一段下げるという意味です。例えば、トップ3からディモートされるなら、トップ3候補から外れるというニュアンスになります。反対語はプロモートで、昇進させる、格上げするです。つまりディモートは、その逆で下に動かすイメージです。日常会話ではそこまで頻繁ではありませんが、ニュースや分析ではよく出ます。評価や立場が下がる場面で使える便利な単語です。
They would get demoted from the top 3. They would get demoted from the top 3, in my opinion, if this were to transpire.
transpire は少しフォーマルな響きのある英語で、起こるや明らかになるという意味があります。日常会話でよく使う happen よりも、少し書き言葉や分析っぽい印象があります。例えば if that transpires なら、もしそれが実際に起こればという意味です。また it transpired that という形では、後になって何なんだと分かったという意味でもよく使われます。スポーツ記事や試合分析では、試合展開や出来事を少し硬い表現で語るときに使われます。イエンペンよりも少し距離を置いて客観的に述べる感じがあります。会話で品質ではありませんが、読む英語や解説英語では知っているとかなり強い単語です。ニュースやスポーツ分析を英語で理解したい人におすすめの単語です。
In my opinion, if this were to transpire, unless Tuchel completely fluffs the starting 11 here.
アルフはカジュアルな英語でミスするややらかすという意味の単語です。特にサッカーでは決定機を外した時によく使われます。例えば、チーダンスを台無しにするという場面で使われます。フォーマルな英語ではあまり使われず、実況や会話でよく出る表現です。そのため、重大なミスというより、少し軽いやらかしというニュアンスがあります。スポーツ英語では非常にリアルな表現なので、覚えておくと理解が深まります。カジュアルな英語を理解したい人におすすめの単語です。
Unless Tuchel completely fluffs the starting 11 here. Unless Tuchel completely fluffs the starting 11 here.
いかがでしたか？今回のインターナショナルウィークでは、ヨーロッパのプレーオフがすでに始まっており、日本と同じグループに入る国に関しては、スウェーデンがウクライナに勝利し、ポーランドがアルバニアに勝利したため、スウェーデンとポーランドの勝者が勝ち上がることになります。グラハム・ポッターがスウェーデンを蘇らせたのかとさえ囁かれているようですが、改めて見るとタレントは揃っており、この試合でギョケレシュもハットトリックをするなど絶好調で、個人的にはスウェーデンが上がってくるのが楽しみでしかない気がします。日本はこの期間で、この2試合ができるのはとても大きな貴重なものだと思いますので、ぜひオプションを増やすような戦い方を試しつつ、激しくデュエルに負けず、対等、あるいは上回るような試合を期待したいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。